Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Noorania Principle, Lesson 5. So, Lesson 5 talks about something called a tanween. What is a tanween? A tanween is basically built on Lesson 4. So, in Lesson 4, as we remember, it was movement and there was fatha and dhamma and kasra. In a tanween, what happens is the fatha, it becomes two fathas, and we call that fathatin in Arabic. And the dhamma, we put another dhamma beside it when we call that dhammatin. And the kasra becomes two, and we call that kasratin. This is how we put the shape. But how is the pronunciation will differ? It's basically you add like a silent N, a silent N. Lots of people ask me, when does the tanween come? In general, a tanween come at the end of nouns, so it does not come on verbs, and it comes only in the words that don't have al, so it does not have like the. It's very complicated when to put the noun, when to put the tanween and when not to put it, but as a general rule, it does not come on verbs and it does not come on any word that has alif lam in the beginning, or alif lam means here that it's alif lam for the similar to the word the. So at-tanween is built on lesson 4. So instead of having dhamma and fatha and kasra, we put another one, like we put double. So the fatha becomes fathatin, dhamma becomes dhammatin, kasra becomes kasratin, and then we add a silent n, called nun sakin at the end. So let's start so I can give you an example again. So it's either tanween, as you can see here. التنوين is either تنوين فتحتين or كسرتين or ضمتين, and the pronunciation will be in at the end, like a silent noon or noon second. So let's start so we can give examples. So we used to say like here the last three letters, or the last letter in lesson 4 was ميم فتحة ما, ميم كسرة مي, ميم ضمة مو, ما ميمو. Here the fatha becomes 2 and we call that fathatin, and then this is how it's going to be pronounced. ميم فتحتين من. So it's basically ma, and then you see you increase the n. Man, mim kasratin min, mim dhammatin mun. So let's compare. Mim fatha ma, mim kasra mi, mim dhamma mu, and here mim fathatin man. So instead of ma, it becomes man. Mim kasratin min. So instead of me, it becomes min. So you add that silent n or a nun sakina. Mim dhammatin mun. So instead of mu, it becomes mun. So you add the nun a second. I always get this question. So why did we add here alif when we did the fathatin? Sometimes this alif becomes like here in this example. For example, it is alif makhsura, or basically alif, but it's written like yeah. Um, um, in general, this alif is called compensatory atif or alif al-ta'widiyah, and its value that if it comes at the very end of the sentence or the verse, or you decided to stop, you don't pronounce the tanween and you pronounce it as alif. I wouldn't worry too much about that. When we come to the exercises at the end of the Qaida Nooraniya, we will give some examples for this. But this is the reason that why we put alif. However, when we in the Qaida Nooraniya, we will not mention this alif. We'll just say mim fathatin man. We'll not say mim alif fathatin or mim fathatin alif. We'll just say mim fathatin man, and this alif will be ignored. Okay, so. Now let's do the practice. So الدرس الخامس, it's for the tanween. It's فتحتين or كسرتين or ضمتين. This means two fathas, two kasras, or two dhammas. ميم فتحتين من, ميم كسرتين من, من, ميم ضمتين من, من من با فتحتين بن با كسرتين بن بن با ضمتين بن واو فتحتين واو كسرتين ون واو ضمتين ون فا فتحتين فا كسرتين فا ضمتين فن ثا فتحتين ثا كسرتين ثن ثا ضمتين ثن ذال فتحتين ذال كسرتين ذن ذال ضمتين ذن ظا فتحتين ظا كسرتين ظن ظا ضمتين ظن زا فتحتين زا كسرتين زن زا ضمتين زن سين فتحتين سين كسرتين سين ضمتين سن صاد فتحتين صاد كسرتين صاد ضمتين صن. So as you see from all these examples, it's basically exactly like the fourth lesson. We just add the n at the end, which is, we call it in Arabic nun sakina or silent n at the end. تا فتحتين تا كسرتين تن تا ضمتين تن. You may ask me, why didn't we put alif here? Again, we will come to this at the end when we practice, because the تا المربوطة, when it has فتحتين, there is no compensatory. When we stop on it, we don't do compensatory alif. Don't worry about that. We will reach at the end of the قاعدة النورانية. We will come to this. دال فتحتين دال كسرتين دن دال ضمتين دن طا فتحتين طا كسرتين طن طا ضمتين طن را فتحتين رن را كسرتين رن را ضمتين رن نون فتحتين نون كسرتين نون ضمتين نن لام فتحتين لام كسرتين لن لام ضمتين لن ضاد فتحتين ضاد كسرتين ضن ضاد ضمتين ضن يا فتحتين يا كسرتين ين يا ضمتين ين شين فتحتين شين كسرتين شن شين ضمتين شن جيم فتحتين جيم كسرتين جن جيم ضمتين جن كاف فتحتين كاف كسرتين كن كاف ضمتين كن قاف فتحتين قاف كسرتين قن قاف ضمتين قن خا فتحتين خا كسرتين خن خا ضمتين خن غين فتحتين غين كسرتين غن غين ضمتين غن حا فتحتين حا كسرتين حن حا ضمتين حن عين فتحتين عين كسرتين عين فتحة ضمتين عن ها فتحتين ها كسرتين هن ها ضمتين هن همزة فتحتين همزة كسرتين إن همزة ضمتين أن. So all this was the tanween. The tanween lesson is very important, but basically it's built on the fourth lesson. So the fifth is built in the fourth. It's the same as the harakat. However, we add nun sakina or silent nun after the haraka. And in general, these harakat only comes at the end of the word, and this word has to be noun. It cannot be verb, and it cannot have alif lam at the beginning, or the al tarif, or what's called the al that is equal to the in English. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.